I'm Lisa. Welcome back to Biblical Reality Check. Before we step into the story of Abraham, we need to pause and talk about something foundational: how the Bible is meant to be read. Because if you try to read Genesis like a modern history book, it will confuse you. And if you read it literally, you'll miss the entire point. The Bible was not written in the language of literalism. It was written in the language of symbol, pattern, and consciousness. And ancient readers understood this intuitively. Modern readers don't. And that's why so many people feel lost. One of the goals of this channel is to attempt to restore the original symbolic literacy. Biblical Hebrew is not like modern English. It's concrete, imagistic, and layered. One word often carries multiple meanings. For example, Adam equals human, earth, red clay. Nephesh equals throat, life, and soul. Mayim equals water and chaos. Ancient readers didn't separate literal from symbolic. To them, symbol was the language of reality. When they heard water, they didn't think H2O. They thought chaos, overwhelm, and emotional flooding. When they heard land, they didn't think geography. They thought stability, identity, and inner ground. This is the world the Bible, particularly Genesis, was written in. Genesis sits in the same literary ecosystem as Mesopotamian myths, Egyptian cosmologies, Sumerian epics, and Canaanite origin stories. These stories weren't trying to record events, they were trying to map consciousness. Characters represented inner voices, psychological states, and spiritual dynamics. And events represented collapse, awakening, fragmentation, integration, calling, and identity formation. This was the shared symbolic literacy of the ancient world. Genesis constantly uses names that are meanings, geography that mirrors psychology, numbers that symbolize patterns, characters that embody inner states, and events that map to consciousness. Some examples are: the name Adam equals humanity, the name Eve equals life, the name Noah equals rest, Abraham equals father of many, Israel equals one who wrestles with God. Egypt equals constriction. Wilderness equals inner emptiness. Promised land equals alignment. These aren't coincidences, they're instructions. The text is telling you literally how to read it. This isn't a modern reinterpretation. It's the oldest way of reading the text. In Jewish tradition, Philo read Genesis as psychological allegory, and the rabbis interpreted characters as inner traits. Early Christian thinkers like Origen taught that scripture had multiple layers: literal, moral, spiritual, and Augustine insisted that Genesis be read symbolically. Literalism was not the default, symbolism was. Some stories operate internally, some externally, and some on both levels at once. Using characters we have already analyzed, here are some examples of how stories operate internally, externally, and as a hybrid of the two. With internal stories, characters equal aspects of the psyche, and events equal inner processes. For example, Adam and Eve represent perception, fragmentation, and awakening. Noah equals collapse, containment, reset. And Job equals disorientation, reorientation, and inner reconstruction. These stories map the architecture of consciousness. With external stories, Characters equal other people, and events equal relational dynamics. For example, Moses represents leadership, resistance, and calling, and Daniel equals integrity under pressure, navigating hostile systems. These stories reveal how humans interact, lead, and respond to the world around them. And with a hybrid of the two, characters are both historical and symbolic, real figures who also embody archetypes. For example, Adam represents both a literal figure and the template of human identity. Eve is both a person and the pattern of perception. Moses is both a leader and the archetype of transformation, and Daniel is both an historical exile and the embodiment of inner alignment. Symbolic reading isn't just a method, it's a mirror. It helps you hear your own inner voice, identify your patterns of thought and behavior, fix your fragmentation, align your mind, determine your calling, and establish your identity. The Bible becomes a map of consciousness, not a rule book. It becomes a guide, not a threat. It becomes a conversation, not a test. And suddenly, the stories stop being ancient and start being personal. Abraham's story is not about geography, it's about identity. You can't understand Abraham unless you understand symbolic reading. On this channel, we won't be forcing symbolism onto the text. We'll be reading it the way it was written. We'll be reading it the way its first audiences did, as a map of consciousness, not a record of events. Once we understand the symbolism of Abraham, the way we did with Noah, then it, and every story after, will open up in ways we never could have imagined. So now we're ready to step into Abraham. We'll see the story as the moment wisdom stops preserving and starts directing. The moment the hum becomes a call. The moment identity begins to take form. Now that we have the decoder key, we'll be able to see the text the way it was meant to be seen. So are you ready? Let's move on to Abraham. Thanks for watching.